Hi, I'm Jessica Barbier, your host for the Cox OC Connection. Big Brothers Big Sisters of Orange County and the Inland Empire are providing vital services for kids in our community every day. Check this out. And with us today from Big Brothers Big Sisters is CEO Melissa Beck with Rudy Baldoni and Jessica Prescott. Welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Melissa, what's the mission and vision of Big Brothers Big Sisters?
So our goal is to provide a mentor for any child really that desires one. But our vision is to change the lives of children for the better forever. And we do that through professionally supported one-to-one mentoring relationships.
And here locally in Orange County and the Inland Empire, can you talk specifically about the programs and the work your agency is doing?
Sure. We have two main programs. The first is probably that program we're best known for, which is an independent program where we match a volunteer, an adult over 18, with a child who is in need of a positive role model. And they get together a few times a month, it's independent, and really that person is just being there for them and providing maybe a different perspective on life and exposing them to new experiences and goals and dreams that they normally wouldn't be exposed to. And we serve about 1,600 children a year in Orange County in that program. Okay. Then we have another program, which is a high school program, where we match high school students with elementary school students, and they get together every week after school at the elementary school, and it's a peer-to-peer mentoring program. It's again one-to-one, and every little is meeting with every big every time, and they talk about age-appropriate items, you know, peer pressure and doing well in school, cliques, body image, all of those type of issues. And it's facilitated by our staff members, and there's activities and a curriculum behind it.
That's a unique dynamic there, because I think the kids can express themselves and ask questions maybe they'd be scared to ask adults.
Absolutely, and because we have a staff member there the whole time, if there's anything that comes up that's maybe a little bit outside the box, we're right there and we're there to facilitate everything. But they are open to share things that are going on at home or things that are going on at school that maybe they are hesitant to share with either someone at school or someone at home.
And what are the demographics, the background of the littles that you serve?
So the majority of the littles that we serve are Hispanic. They are in families earning less than $30,000 a year. For many of our littles, their parents did not graduate high school, if they started high school at all. You know, we have, I think, about a third of our littles, they have a parent who at some time has been incarcerated for either gang activity, drugs, violence. A lot of our littles have already been exposed, about a quarter, to either domestic violence or drug abuse or sometimes sexual or physical abuse for them or their siblings. So it's a pretty tough background to grow up in, and for a lot of them, they're just looking for that one person who is going to encourage them and expose them to something other than what they're seeing. They're really only exposed to sometimes a few block radius, and they never get outside of that. And so when that's all you see, that's all you think to achieve, and that's all you dream for. And so what a big brother or big sister does is take that child out of that environment and expose them to perhaps things that are new. And that gives them new hopes and dreams and new idea of where they can go in the future.
And you're serving so many youth a year. Where do these kids find out about your program?
For the majority of our kids, I mean, probably over half of them, it's word of mouth. We don't market to kids at all. A lot of them, their parents will know other parents who have enrolled their children in the program. We also get a lot of referrals from schools for kids that maybe are truant more than they're there. Those are really great kids for us in our program. When we get kids that are skipping school consistently and we bring them in and match them with a big brother or big sister, that changes dramatically. Now these are kids that are sometimes perfect attendance at school because they see what is in future for them if they continue in school. We also get a lot of referrals from the Sheriff's Department and District Attorney of those kids that they see kind of starting to go down that wrong path. Those are also really great kids for our program because putting a role model in the life of a child who's thinking about going down that way really does change everything.
Those early indicators.
Exactly. It's a great prevention program.
And on the flip side, what qualities are you looking for in individuals that can serve as a big brother or big sister?
Well, first of all, we ask for a year commitment. So unlike other organizations, we ask a lot of our volunteers. They're volunteering a year of their time, a couple times a month to really dedicate towards this person. You know, it is one child kind of at a time. So we're really looking for people that want to give back to the community but aren't over-involved. So not necessarily people with young kids, but young professionals that are educated and looking to get involved in their community.
What are some of the activities that you would typically do as a big brother or big sister?
Well, really, you can do anything. And we express to our volunteers that this is not something that needs to be overly expensive. For some of the basic things that you or I may take for granted, our littles have probably never done that before. So anything, bowling, going to the beach, going to a restaurant, going to the park. A lot of times just having that one person spend a couple hours of dedicated time with them is what's most precious. So it really doesn't matter as much what you're doing. It's just that the fact that someone has dedicated half a Saturday to them is a luxury that they've never seen before. So most of our littles, their first time bowling, their first time going to the beach, their first time sometimes, you know, riding a bike is with their big brother or big sister.
And speaking of the individuals that are so important to your organization, the board members, the big brothers, the big sisters, Rudy, can you tell us why you got involved with the organization?
Well, sure. Actually, in 1994, the gentleman that I was working for was being honored at our gourmet dinner, and he asked me to serve on the committee. And I had raised that year the most money that anybody had raised over the last several years. So you know what happens when you do that. They ask you to come back the following year. So I stayed involved for a few additional years, and then I joined the board in 1999, and then I currently serve as chairman. So one of the things that we've tried to do from a board perspective is to diversify our board so that the people who are on the board represent the children that we serve. Plus, we've gotten out of being predominantly a real estate and finance related board to a more diverse board that represents the companies that are within the Orange County community.
And I understand that you are also on the Big Brothers Big Sisters of America Board of Directors. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How's that experience been?
You know, it's been very rewarding, and a lot of the things that we're doing here in Orange County we're kind of paralleling on the national level. And so we have several issues that I'd like to see us tackle. One being fundraising. I think one of our main responsibilities being on a board is to help raise money for the organization. And so we're trying to do that, not only reaching out to our constituents in Washington, D.C., but our corporate partners. And so that's a main goal. Going back and expanding our alumni network is another important factor. Plus updating our existing management system so we can track all of our matches is another important goal.
Yes, that's always the goal of a nonprofit, accurate database.
Never ends.
So since being involved since 1999, what are you most proud of?
What I'm most proud of is we are serving more children. You know, in Orange County, for example, there's a potential population pool of about 125,000 kids. Last year we served just over 2,000. So we're serving just over 2% of the kids within our own population. I'd like to see us double that over the next 5 years. So I'm most proud of our continuing increase in the number of kids that we serve. But in addition, I as an investor, the one statistic that I like the most is the number of kids that go on to college. So Melissa mentioned the children in our traditional based program. Over the last 2 years, we've had kids, 92, 94% respectively, in the last 2 years have gone on to a 2 or 4 year college. And so I'm most proud of that.
That's definitely something to be proud of. And Jessica, I wanted to talk to you about your experience as a big sister. Why did you first get involved with the organization?
I decided to become a big because I was working full time and was really looking for something that made me feel a little more fulfilled. I grew up in a family of givers, and so it was just in my nature to want to do that. And I'm very fortunate to have the very best little sister that anyone could ask for. So.
When you look at the model, you know right away as a little sister or little brother, you're going to get leadership and mentorship and a role model. But I'm sure the bigs get a lot as well. Can you kind of share your experience and what you've taken away as being a big sister?
Absolutely. My little has had a life that I have no frame of reference for. And every time I see her, every time I speak with her, she is positive, she is happy, she is upbeat. I learn more from her and take away more from her than I, would think that she does from me. So it's really wonderful. She perseveres, she's intelligent, and she's kind. And one of the biggest things that we like to do together is give back together, which is great because we get to start something big. So.
And how long have you been matched up together?
About 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Because people, 1 year, but I see it going on for several years after.
She and I will definitely be sisters forever. So.
And for people at home that might be watching and saying, I think I want to do it, but they might have some reservations. Did you have any reservations going in, and how did those change?
I'll be honest, there are days when after a long day of work, and I know I've got stuff to do when I get home, that 3 hour time after I get out of the office seems a little daunting. It is always worth it. And it's always such a wonderful, we have a great time together. So.
And can you talk about the support that the organization provides? So if you are in a situation with your little brother or little sister, and there's a hard-hitting question that you might not have the answer to, how does the organization support you?
I have a match support specialist that I speak with every quarter since I've been matched for over a year. She is my go-to person, and in times when I've been in need, she's always been there for me, or someone else from the agency has been there for me to talk to.
I think that's what's so important too, is that you put so much time up front in making sure there's a match in the background checks and then providing that support. Because I'm sure everyone has reservations, but it's good to know that they can depend on you.
As Jessica said, her little grew up in a circumstance very different from what she was used to. And unfortunately, there's a lot of issues that come up in the families of our littles that our volunteers don't really know how to tackle. And so that's what we're here for.
So I know you have a couple big events coming up. So if our viewers at home want to find out about your events or find out how to be a big brother or big sister, where can they go to get more information?
So they can go to our website, which is bigbroOC.org. Our next big event is our Mardi Gras on February 1st. It is at the Ralph Brennan Jazz Kitchen at Downtown Disney, and it's just a really fun Mardi Gras themed party. We have dueling pianos and casino games and live music, and it's just a really, really good time. It's attended by about 400 young professionals, and it should be a fantastic event.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Well, Melissa, Rudy, Jessica, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for what you're doing in the community. It's very important.
Thanks for having us.
For more information, please visit us at cox3.com. And to find out what we're doing in the community, check out our website, cox-cares.org. Thanks, and have a wonderful evening.